Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video we're going to be talking about how you can simplify your full process on social media so you can start posting more or putting systems in place to make the whole full process a bit easier. So let's get in. Step number one, the client avatar. When it comes to the client avatar, it's absolutely critical that whatever product, service, or you want to build your authority, whatever you have to put out there, you have the ideal person that the content should go out to. Now, you might not have a high ticket product, you might not have an online course, you might not have a service yet, but you might want to build your list. Regardless of what you want to do, the idea is that you want to have a specific person that you are targeting when you're applying this process. When it comes to your client avatar, you want to focus on two main things. Number one, it's what are the pains and problems that this person is facing. Let's look at some examples. Maybe they are lacking time. Maybe they don't know how to make more money. Maybe they don't know how to start their business. Maybe they are struggling with weight loss and motivation. Maybe they need more knowledge or education on a topic. Maybe those are some of the problems, the pains that this person has. Naturally, with these pains and problems, there are symptoms that come along with them. Things such as stress, overwhelm, lack of motivation, financial doubt. So you have to look at problems and pains and understand their symptoms as well, because this is going to be one of your main pillars, let's call it, that you're going to create content based on. Now, the full 5-step system, it's broken down in some easy steps. Number one, your ideal client avatar. Number two, the platforms that you will have to choose in order to post for that client avatar that you have in place. Number three, the topics that you're going to be talking about. Number four, a breakdown of how a post should look like or what a post means. And number five, the systems that you might want to get in place to have the process even more simplified or easier to manage. Now, the second thing you want to look at when it comes to your client avatar is what do they actually want? Because that's exactly what your offer is gonna solve. That's exactly what your product or your content or your course is gonna solve. So what do they want? Maybe they want freedom. Maybe they want financial security. Maybe they want, the best health of their lives. Maybe they want a happier marriage or relationship. Maybe they want more confidence and more motivation. It's really important that you nail these two things down. What are their pains and problems and what symptoms come along with them and what do they actually want? Because, as I just said, when you know what they want, it's exactly what your offer needs to solve. So that client avatar has certain pains and problems and symptoms, and with them are gonna be coming your offer, which is exactly what they want and what they're gonna buy into. Now, step number two, it's what are the platforms that you're going to be choosing. If you don't have loads of experience with social media, you might want to use one or two platforms initially. But the idea is to choose platform that this ideal client is hanging out on. So, for example, if you're creating content on relationship advice, let's look at that. That client might not be hanging out on LinkedIn looking for that advice. They might be looking on YouTube, they might be looking on Instagram or on Facebook or on certain Facebook groups. If you're creating educational content on financial advice, for example, they might be hanging out on LinkedIn, as that platform is more professionally designed. So based on what your client, who your client is, those are the platforms you're gonna start set up your account, and that's where you're gonna start posting based on the pillar contents that you just created based on your avatar, and obviously then you're picking up the platforms. Hope this makes sense. Now, when it comes to content and the topics that you're talking about, I have 7 main areas of content that usually I advise people to create the content on, the posts on, and I'm gonna share those 7 with you because you want to write them down as you're gonna start creating topics. You're gonna create your posts based on these 7. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more related content. Number 1 will be mistakes or myths. What mistakes are in the business, in the topic this ideal client might be facing if they don't do what you're advising them to do. Then Top tips. Now, I'm sure you've seen multiple videos or social media posts about what top tips. Top 3 tips in order to do this. Top 5 tips. Number 1 advice when it comes to this. You get the drill. So, top tips would be the second main topic content that you can create on. Motivational and inspirational content, because this is something that I personally align with spiritual people, and everyone has some sort of spirituality in their life or part of their, I would say, routine as a person. So motivational and inspirational content, as that would pretty much target more people than the specific one. Fourth one would be personal content. People buy into people. People like to see who they are dealing with. So personal content, it's an absolute must, whichever platform you are on. Fifth content topic that you can start creating on is social proof or demonstrations. Now, social proof such as testimonials, client results, etc. And demonstration, if for example, let's take property, which is the number one thing I have been involved in, maybe demonstration of how much money a house, an apartment would be making. Or if you have, for example, a journal, a book, a workbook, you can demonstrate in a video or in a carousel, multiple pictures, how that works. So social proof and demonstrations, that's another topic that you can create content on. One exciting one, that would be selling content. So that means you want to tell people that your doors are open, that you have some exciting news and the day has arrived when you are launching XYZ. So number 6 is selling content or promotional content, whichever way you want to name it, but selling, that's the main purpose of this content pillar, I would say. Last and final content topic that you can create on is objections. Because naturally there could be people there thinking, well, why do I need a social media calendar? Why do I need a mini course that teaches me how to be more motivated to go to the gym? Or there are people that might be thinking that they need approval from someone else to get involved in maybe your high ticket program that you have. Or people might have doubts about how much information you know or what your story has been. So think about what potential objections your ideal client has and start creating content on them. Now, step number 4, part of this process. So far we covered client avatar, the platforms that you want to start advertising yourself on, self-promotion, and then we looked at some topics that you can start creating content on. And now the 4th step is a breakdown of a post. Now, many people, when they think about a post, they might be thinking about copywriting, about video, about picture that it goes out there. The post has actually 4 elements, and that's how you want to look at it. So those 4 elements are: first, the hook. So that means what's the title? What's the hook that gets people reading? And ideally you want to make that hook somehow emotional to the public, because if you're actually looking at what you're consuming, and that's the perspective and mindset that's gonna change, most probably the titles that you read further on or listen more about have some emotional information in that hook. So have a think about that, how you can make your own hooks be a bit emotional, not just stat based. How to do this? People don't really care about how to do this, but they care how to do that if it makes them more money, if it gives them financial freedom, if it makes them happier. So every hook has to have an element of emotion. Then second part of the post breakdown is the visual of that post. You obviously want it to look nice and pleasant, and you also want to look at the logo colors and what is your brand about. But you might want to do a short video, a long form video. Maybe you want to do a carousel. Maybe you want to do obviously a reel. Maybe you want to do a picture, maybe a quotation, maybe something motivational from that perspective. But the visual of the post is important. So that's something you want to think about and diversify as well. Then the third part of the post breakdown is the copyright and the copy that goes into that post, the text. Is it engaging? Is it telling a story? Because you're gonna see that most videos and most posts that you read about, they are very good at storytelling. So that's how your content, your copy has to be like. They have to keep people reading or watching. And the last final element part of a post is the CTA, such as the call to action. Every single post that you're making on social media has to have a call to action. That means you tell people, click in the text box below below and sign up to XYZ, or drop a comment below, if you agree with the content that I just created about. Whatever it is, like, comment and share, for example. Whatever it is in terms of call to action, you always want to have that part of your post. You need to tell people what to do, because at times people might not be aware of what should be their next step. How can they show appreciation for the information you just gave out for free? So you need to tell them what should they do next. So the final part of a simplified social media posting is the systems that you want to have in place. I'm just going to give you the bare minimum that you actually need to get yourself posting. And when it comes to actually creating the visuals of a post, you can use a platform as Canva. You can use it for free. So that means that you can create all your digital good looking posts on Canva yourself, or you obviously can get someone else to do it for you. But Canva is the easiest way for you to get started if you want to create good digital looking photos or videos. Now, when it comes to your content organization and I would say planning, you want to look at platforms such as Trello, such as Notion. These are good platforms for you to get started because you can use them for free and you can organize all your content. At the moment, I am actually using both. So these are some of the best platforms I came across to organize things and make sure that things are moving at the right pace and every member of the team does the right thing when it comes to their time to get their input. So Trello and Notion as my organization platform for simplified social media posting. Now, when it comes to your planning, your scheduling of the posts, you don't need to actually do it yourselves, every single day whenever you want to post or whatever your calendar schedule is like. There are platforms, some for free and some that might come to a price that you can use. There are platforms such as Facebook Business MetaSuite that you can use to schedule posts on Instagram and on Facebook. This is extremely valuable for people that want to schedule, their posts a month in advance or a week in advance or whichever your way of doing things is. You have platforms such as Hootsuite, Agora that actually help you to schedule your posts, but they might be coming to a price as well. So these are my 5 steps to simplify your social media posting, your client avatar, the platforms that the client is hanging out on, so you know where to start posting, your 7 content pillars that you want to start posting about, then the post breakdown that you obviously know how to actually create it, and 5th, the systems that you might want to have in place to simplify your full process.